West Ham Irons channel. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Talking Point show. Unplanned show. It's obviously come from the breaking news that was kind of yesterday now. This has gone past midnight now. That our new striker, our new signing, Nicholas Fullkrug, had unfortunately suffered an injury in the Germany training camp ahead of their game in the nations, really. So I thought it was a joke when I first heard it, and then checked a few sources, and yeah, the West Ham striker crisis has hit. And this is really odd because we spoke earlier in the day, and I spoke on another channel yesterday about concerns about Fullkrug, gut feeling, not sure how it's going to go with him. That if he was our number two striker, no problem. But if we're relying on him to get us 15, 20 goals to get us into Europe, kind of replicate what Bowen's done up front, to be fair, if you look at Bowen's record. I'm not sure. His confidence didn't look that high. He looked a bit nervous. First move out of Germany. Didn't know how it's going to really plan out to him, and he's not really started any games. Obviously, no goals, no assists, nothing. So didn't know what we were going to do with him, and then looked like a Tim Stuyton signing versus a Lopetegui signing, bringing back all the Moyes memories, who bought the player. Do you know what I mean, right? So that was all earlier on this morning and yesterday before this news obviously broke, really. So let me give you the latest update, really, from really good source. You all know, ex-employee. So West Ham have confirmed injury. Top source confirmed it. Yeah, he's out for the Germany game, sort of, I think it's tomorrow, which is today, I think. Or is it Wednesday? Anyway, one of the 2 days, Germany's game. He's out of it. He's returning to West Ham if he hasn't already. The injury is thought to be an Achilles heel tendon and calf injury, and the club will monitor and scan the injury to get an official diagnosis of how serious the injury is. The source, very top high level source, which I think Sean Whetstone's already said it. A source saying he hates international breaks. I think as fans we all agree. We will keep you updated. Was that Sullivan? Probably. And then there's an update literally half an hour ago. The club seem quietly confident that the injury will not be too serious. They will obviously need to wait until they see the results of the scan and treatment. It is hoped at this stage, though, it will not be long term. Fingers crossed. But from my experience, the club always says that a lot of the time, and then X-rays, MRI scans, call it what you want. Then sometimes the club goes quiet, rightly so or wrongly so, and then we find out, yeah, a few more weeks there, a few months there, longer term there. We'll see what happens. He's 31. Yeah, he's had a few niggles in his career. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to go down the route of when he came in. Listen, I keep telling you, any player that comes and signs for West Ham, I'm happy. I'm happy. And when we sign them, obviously they're good when they come to West Ham. They've had a good season with their club, and I trust, Tim Stuyton, Lopetegui, Sullivan, and I'm happy. I can't concrete say if it's going to work out for the player, and no one knows that. No one knows the future, right? Um, some players make it, some don't. So I'm not going to go down that route to say we shouldn't have signed him. We should have got John Duran. Of course, John Duran is a better player than him, but why we didn't get John Duran in, we know a few things about that, right? So I don't want to go down that route. This show is about obviously trying to, give you a detailed update of where we are with him in the injury, see what happened. So we don't know at the moment, but got a feeling it'll be a reasonable amount of time, knowing the age, the healing process, that type of injury. A lot of clubs have suffered. I think Arsenal have lost a couple of players. I think Odegaard's Hairflick's got injured. Odegaard, yeah, he's got injured. So they're missing about 3-4 players for Spurs game. But yeah, that's not my business. But yeah, I never understood. I was shocked when I found out the international fixtures are back so early. I mean, the season's just literally got going and the players are not even fit. So they come from the Euros unfit. trying to get match fit and they get injured on duty again. Didn't make sense to me. These games should have come around a lot later, maybe November, December, I don't know. But it just doesn't make sense, some of the things that's going on. It's bonkers, and there's been a lot of injuries, so I think something might be done, especially when it hits the big clubs like Arsenal. Do you see what I mean? But yeah, this show was a bit about Fullkrug. Wish him the best. Not really good news for anyone, especially starting a new career. So yeah, I mean that naturally follows to what we're going to do going forward, how we're going to play, how we're going to solve the striker crisis. It's what everyone's talking about. It's probably one of the number one topic West Ham fans are talking to each other about. And I thought I'd join in and offer a few things about possible formations, how we can play for the rest of the season. Again, I'm not going to go into why we didn't buy John Duran, why we didn't buy a couple of more strikers. It is what it is. The window's shut. That's just work with what we've got and see what kind of solution Lopetegui can kind of source for us, really. So I'm going to jump in the tactics room straight away. So here I am with nothing to look at. Give me a minute. It's half an hour past midnight, nearly 1 in the morning. But anyway, here we go. So yeah, I want to show you a couple of things before I get to the formation tactics screen. Carlos Soler, a lot of you like me don't quite know exactly where he plays, or does he play in more one position? What is he about? I'm guessing that what I know is that he's technically very, very good on the ball, gives it away much less than Paqueta would, much better with the passing than Souček, than Alvarez, than Rodriguez. So he's probably the most accomplished out the central midfielders we've got in terms of possession, keeping possession, passing it short, passing it long, and comfortable receiving it, comfortable passing it, and able to tackle as well a fair bit. So kind of a complete midfield player, technically very, very high, like you normally get with Spanish players, Portuguese players, Dutch players, typical Wolves players, or you see what I mean? That's kind of what it is. So I surprisingly found out he plays in a number of positions. So I went back to his last season with PSG. I looked at the games he's played in and where he's done relatively well. And you can tell he wasn't a regular, by the way, by anyone's imagination. He was not a regular. He used to play a game, dropped again, 2-3 games, come back in again, and that kind of thing. So in this particular game, we're looking at February 2024, so a good while ago. It's away. They've won. He's got a good rating, and he's right back. I did hear a few rumours that he plays right back, but there you go. The guy can play right back, right? So that's interesting to see, and that's in a 4-3-3 system, right? Let's show you another thing with Carlos Soler. So this is kind of August, so not that long ago. It's kind of a friendly. No. Is it a friendly? Let me just have a look. Anyway, they're playing Austria, and it's 4-4-2, and he's playing in midfield, centre on the right side. So that was what I thought. Good rating, 4-4-2, plays in the centre. I expect him to do that more often than not for West Ham. Let's go into the final one, and it's 4-3-3, and he's on the right side of the 4-3-3. Really good to know. So now it's a bit clear why Lopetegui was pretty keen to get him in. He can play right back, he can play on the right side of a 4-3-3, he can play in the middle on the right of a 4-4-2. So pretty interesting, everyone. Hey, so he's pretty flexible in those positions. Another thing I found out, which I'm not going to graphically go into, was that I started looking at Kudos and Alvarez and their Ajax times. And Kudos, I knew that 4-3-3, 4-4-2, he plays on the right wing largely, or on the right side of 4-3-3. But surprisingly, or not surprisingly, Alvarez has played in that particular season, the last season before he joined us, as a centre-back a lot of the time for Ajax. Yeah, 4-4 at the back, and he's a centre back in a lot of games, and he's done really, really well. Mexico, he's in centre mid. His performances for Mexico are not very good. The ratings are not very good. I don't know if that's down to the whole country, the whole international team as a whole, but not very good performances for Mexico recently, really. So that's kind of that. Let's now go into. I think I'm looking at four formations that could work or should be explored by the manager, and I think he probably will. So let me just move myself over there. There we go, Jazz. Get over there, matey. Okay, cool. So I'm kind of there. 4-3-3. Tadibo, it's got to play. I think you got to start that guy sooner or later. Um, Next to Kilman. So yeah, Emerson, Kilman, Tadibo, Wan-Bissaka. Three in the middle, Alvarez, Slayer on the right, Paqueta in the middle. I don't want Paqueta on the wing anywhere, and I don't want Paqueta as a CDM one of two because he loses the ball. We're in trouble. Where here is one of three, so if he messes around, I'm hoping Soler and Alvarez can mop up and help. I want Paqueta kind of in the opposition half most of the time. I don't want him close to the back four trying to with the ball at his feet because you'll lose it, and I don't want him being a hardcore CDM. You just can't do it. I want him as a number 10 pushing forward, trying to create really. Somerville, we got to bring him in. We got to stop messing about. Bring him in. Put him on the left wing. Bowen, it's going to have to be Bowen. I'm afraid. Antonio, I think he's year by year. There's not much left in the tank anymore, and I'm just fed up having to go at him. So Bowen up front, Kudos on the right, Somerville on the left, and again those front three are in their peak in terms of physical. You know, Somerville's very very young. Bowen, Kudos are in their mid 20s, just over. So right in their prime, so they should be able to have pace, strength, interchange, and everything really. And then you got Soler, Paqueta, Alvarez, but I'm hoping that Soler, Alvarez give the license for Paqueta to go close to Bowen and create for the front three really. So that's kind of one option, everyone. Let's come to the next one. It's 4-2-3-1, one of my favourites. Back for the same, but in this one you've got Soler, Alvarez as the two sitting midfielders, and then you've got Paqueta as a number 10 with Kudos, Somerville, and Bowen. So that's one of my favourite ones because you've got Soler being a mini Paqueta in the middle. So if Alvarez wins it, he gives it straight to Soler, and then straight onto Paqueta, and vice versa. And if we're under the cosh, under pressure, then Paqueta has to go back and make that into three. That's what I really like about this system. If you're attacking, if you're about to start the game, you've got two in the middle. 4-2-3-1. If you're under pressure, then Paqueta will drop back and make a three in the middle really, and then it'll be kind of 4-3-3. So that's kind of the other one. This is 3-3. What do you call it? 3-3-1-2-1. Is it? Yeah, 3-3-1-2-1. I never heard about it before. I just made it up anyway. So this is kind of like three centre backs with wing backs. So yeah, because I was telling you, Alvarez has played as a centre back a lot. So whether you want him or Mavropoulos in this, up to you. So put Alvarez in there because this gives them during a live game. You can change his formation into 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. Make it what you want. So start off with three centre backs. Wan-Bissaka, Emerson sitting quite high as wing backs. Soler, big job for Soler in the middle, and then Paqueta slightly ahead of him, and then Somerville, Bowen, and Kudos really. So that's kind of another option we've got there. And then the final one is 3-4-2-1. Again, Alvarez at the back, Wan-Bissaka again, playing as wingers / wing backs / fullbacks. Soler, Paqueta in the middle. So Paqueta is a kind of a CDM in there, but the only reason I've put him in there in this formation is because you've got 5 defenders at the back to to help retain the ball if he loses it. So Paqueta loses it, you've got Alvarez, Kilman, Tadibo, 3 at the back. Then you've got Wan-Bissaka and you got Emerson next to him. So that's why it's a little bit of a noisy defensive kind of shape. But I think Wan-Bissaka, Emerson can offer a lot going forward. Soler will be good on the ball, and Paqueta, you all know about his creation really. So that's kind of that one really. Let's kind of go back to the first screen where we got it. Yeah, let's go back to the screen. So there we go. So I didn't want to go too much into it. I mean, yeah, 15, 16 minutes, that's a bit enough for your attention span. But sufficient to say that we've got to build around Bowen up front now. We've got no choice. And it's lucky we got that option. He's done kind of well in it. It solves a lot of problems. It solves Bowen going back up front. And I'm not sure if he wants to do it or he doesn't, but he does well. And then Kudos goes to the right side. So that solution is fixed. That problem is fixed. Paqueta gets away from the left side and plays as a number 10. That's another issue resolved. Somerville can finally start to play on that left side up front like he did for Leeds. That's another issue resolved, right? So there's a lot of issues resolved in those formations going forward. And Fullkrug, to be fair, wasn't part of the season anyway, right? If I want to put any positivity on it, which I can't, but if there is anything, is that he didn't start the season with a goal here, assist here. We didn't see enough time for him to do anything, so he doesn't really affect us going forward. We'll still have Antonio on the bench. We've still got Souček on the bench, or Mavropoulos on the bench, and Danny Ings and Rodriguez and all those other guys. But it solves enough problems to take us into January, and then we'll see what happens. Do you know? Whether we can bring a striker in on the free market, I think that deadline Saturday. So we've got enough time to bring someone in. So maybe that's a bit lucky as well if you want to think about it. I know there's not a lot of luck, but that the injuries happen before the squad numbers are announced at the weekend, so you can still buy them from the free market. I think. Not sure if you can after this weekend. So maybe there's someone out there. I think there's Depay, is it? Depay's out there. Anthony Martial's out there. So we'll see what happens anyway. So hope you've enjoyed the show. It's getting near 1 at night, so I'm gonna have to snooze off and get ready for work. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, the latest update on Fullkrug, and formation wise what the manager could look at. It will solve some of the problems we've been talking about really. So take care, keep subscribing, keep watching, keep supporting. Have a great night.